There's a strange truth about the modern world. The more connected we become, the less real we feel. And yet, somewhere inside that glowing screen, in a world built from code, we find a version of ourselves that feels more alive than ever. It's ironic, isn't it, that we live more honestly in a fake world. In real life, we play roles. We smile when we're tired. We nod when we disagree. We shrink parts of ourselves to fit into rooms that were never built for us. But online, in the quiet anonymity of pixels, we unfold. We speak our minds. We dare to exist without permission. In games, we're fearless. In chats, we're honest. In digital worlds, we're not afraid to feel. It's not because those worlds are better. It's because they let us be the people we've been hiding all along. Psychologists call it the disinhibition effect, the way distance and anonymity lower our defenses. But it's more than that. It's not just freedom, it's rebellion. Because the real world punishes authenticity. Here, vulnerability is currency, and it doesn't pay well. But in digital worlds, vulnerability becomes connection. The shy kid becomes a hero. The outsider becomes a leader. The silent one finally speaks, and someone listens. Maybe that's why people don't just play games anymore. They live in them. Some call it escapism. They say we're running away from life. But maybe we're not escaping reality. Maybe we're escaping performance. Because if the real world is a stage and everyone's acting, then maybe the game isn't the lie. Maybe the game is where we finally tell the truth. In a virtual world, we can choose who we are. No history, no expectations, no judgment, just intention. And in that choice, there's honesty. Not because it's real, but because it shows what we wish were real. When you pick a character, you're not inventing someone new. You're sculpting the person your heart wanted to become. The strong one, the kind one, the fearless one. The version of you that real life never gave space to exist. But the more we live in that world, the harder it becomes to return to this one. Reality starts to feel heavy, slow, unforgiving. The people here don't level up, they just wear down. And the gap between who we are online and who we are outside keeps growing wider, until one day, we don't know which one is real anymore. There's a quiet kind of grief in that. Not the loud kind that breaks you, but the soft kind that empties you. You start missing a world that never actually existed, the friends you never met, the cities that were just code, the moments that vanished when the server shut down. But to your heart, they were real. Because what makes something real isn't whether it exists, but whether it moved you. And that's the paradox of the digital age. We build fake worlds that give us real feelings, while living in a real world that often feels fake. We scroll through curated smiles, manufactured opinions, and conversations that sound alive but feel empty. So maybe it's not the digital world that's false. Maybe this world has become too good at pretending. Sometimes I wonder, what if our avatars are not escapes, but reflections? What if they're the truth that our physical selves are too afraid to show? Maybe that's why we keep coming back. Because somewhere in those pixels, we see the version of us that finally feels free. But freedom has a price. Because the more you live in that space, the more fragile it becomes. One crash, one logout, one server update, and it's gone. And when it's gone, you realize something terrifying. The fake world gave you feelings the real world never could, and now you have to live with the emptiness of knowing that something unreal felt more real than life itself. Still, maybe that's not something to mourn. Maybe that's something to learn from. Because if a world built from pixels can make us feel alive, then maybe the problem isn't the code, it's the cage we've built around our hearts. Maybe it's time we learn from the virtual world to speak honestly, to act without masks, to connect without fear, and to live as if we're still pressing start. We don't live falsely in fake worlds. We live bravely. We live openly. We live as who we are, not who we're told to be. And maybe that's the saddest and most beautiful truth of being human in the digital age, that sometimes it takes a fake world to remind us how to be real